Hey guys, Magic Man here, and today I'm going to be bringing you another game in one of my favorite cruisers, the Graf Spee. And in this game, I'm heading off to the sea point because generally that's where destroyers and cruisers typically go. And I feel like that's where I'm going to be the most effective for my team. Now, I'm not actually going to go into the sea, not until I at least know what's in the cap point, and of course, the enemy carrier is already showing up here. Seems like no matter what I do, the enemy carrier always seems to pick the cap point where I'm going, which I hate, but I guess I'm just cursed. Anywho, I luckily have the defensive AA cooldown on the Graf Spee. I don't run hydroacoustic on it, mainly because whatever was going on today on the North American server, there were at least 1 to 2 carriers in every game I played. I don't know if it's because the Enterprise is getting ready to come out or because the Kaga was just released, but I'm not a huge fan of all these aircraft carriers everywhere. Makes it very hard to play a destroyer, and also it makes it very hard to win a game if the carrier on your team gets sunk. Now this Königsberg is just charging in here. Hopefully we can get a Citadel on him, and yeah, sure enough, we do get one. That was a pretty good shot. Now there are at least 2 ships that I can see that can throw torpedoes in here, so I'm actually going to stop right here because I don't want to move forward anymore and get torpedoed. I don't have, and we actually get another Citadel there. I don't have hydroacoustic on here like I just said, so I'm not going to be able to see the torpedoes until they're almost right on top of me. So I'm going to use the corner of this island to basically block all the torpedoes. Now this Pensacola I'm not too worried about. I'm hoping, and yeah, just a little bit too high on the aim, and that Mutsuki is still sitting over there in that smoke, and it looks like that Fiji is probably going to come through, so another ship that's probably going to be throwing torpedoes, and the Fiji is a very dangerous one because he can single fire his torpedoes and do quite a bit of damage, so I'm not really interested in getting hit by several torpedoes, so I'm going to continue to back up here. And unfortunately only get 1 hit on the Pensacola, which kind of sucks. And the Miyoko that's in front of me is actually taking quite a bit of fire, and in hindsight, I probably should have got up there in front of this guy and started tanking for him, because I do have a heal on this ship. And unfortunately for my team, our carrier is not plane. I've yet to see him launch any planes, and golly, this is probably some of the worst dispersion I've seen from these guns. I went over, under, like I could have taken this Pensacola out of the game right there, but the gun dispersion at almost 10 kilometers was so bad it missed every single shot. Like, I have never seen gun dispersion that bad. And here come the torpedoes from the Fiji. This is why I was actually waiting, and I unfortunately only get 1 Citadel out of that. I was really hoping for 2 by how tightly grouped those 2 shells were, but it just didn't happen. One of them overpenetrates, one of them goes into the Citadel, and he's going to get away before I can kill him. If I had Adrenaline Rush, it would have really helped me later on in this game, but unfortunately I don't. And I'd like to get in this cap point, but golly, I've got support here. They're just taking forever to get up here, and even though that Koenig could see those torpedoes from however far away, he still takes one. It just blew my mind. He had so much warning, like he didn't even try and avoid those torpedoes. So yeah, that was the thing. Our battleship already taking unnecessary amounts of damage for no reason other than he was probably looking down his sight not paying attention. And so it looks like these guys are moving out of the cap, and I finally have my scouter plane back up. So when I come in here, I'm actually going to launch it so I can see what's around the corner of this island. And yeah, I still know that the Fiji and probably the destroyer are still in this cap. The Fiji got spotted as soon as I launched that plane. But the Mitsuki is probably going to be a little bit harder to spot, because I think their detection radius is like 3 kilometers. Yeah, and plane actually spots it. It looks like he is coming to a stop according to my torpedo indicator. And is he going to start backing up? It's hard telling. It doesn't matter. Get a pretty good shot in on him. I was going to launch torpedoes, but this freaking Emerald jumped right in front of me and essentially stopped me from doing so. But that's alright. They do eventually take out the destroyer. And at this point, things are going pretty badly for my team. On the other flank, they've lost a lot of ships. And it looks like our Independence finally just showed up to the battle. He just launched some planes 7 minutes into the game. So that definitely hasn't helped any, especially since the other carrier player has already got at least 1 kill to his name. And I was thinking about going through this gap, and I probably should have in hindsight, because I could have linked up with our destroyer over there, probably got this Fiji, but I don't know. I thought better of it at the last second. I was like, that Scharnhorst and that Pensacola are crashing down. I was thinking it'd be better if I could flank them, but what I didn't know, and I should have guessed it judging by how that Koenig took the torpedo earlier in the game, that the Koenig is going to go around this island and take himself out of the battle too. I was hoping that he was going to go down that middle of that channel and tank for our cruiser, but it doesn't look like he was interested in doing that, so I unfortunately made a bad decision here. I should have gone down the channel and then gone basically behind that island at the end of the channel, or gone down the 8 line to the bigger island over there, but then I'm opening myself up for potential broadside, which would have been bad, so I probably would have stuck it out between that little island right there, and I could have been a lot more useful than I'm being right now. But yeah, the Königsberg and the Koenig are both essentially being useless. Like, I don't know, it kind of makes me a little sad that they're going to go around this island too. I mean, they didn't need to. The Scharnhorst and the Pensacola are in a position now where they can't really put effective fire into those guys. And I am actually about to be in a very good position to get some decent shots on this guy. I want to kill this Pensacola because nobody else really seems too interested in killing him, and I don't want him to take out our Mitsuki, our destroyer down there, who is, for whatever reason, firing his guns at this guy. That's the only reason I'm shooting at this Pensacola. But it looks like he finally slipped away, and that Scharnhorst is pushing in, unfortunately for me, because now I can't shoot him, so my only option is to shoot at this Pensacola, and he is actively avoiding my shots, and it's pretty hard to hit at 15 kilometers. I had my guns elevated all the way, and he's just sailing fast enough that he got out of my range before the shells got there. This Emerald, unfortunately, is going to go down. He played that kind of poorly. He definitely... I didn't see him use a smoke screen, so I don't know why he didn't use a smoke screen and essentially torpedo that Scharnhorst from his smoke. Maybe he's one of those guys that just doesn't run a premium smoke and he just was on cooldown, but I had never seen that guy use it the whole game, so I don't know what the heck his deal was. I definitely could have used some help from him, though, because now I have nobody spotting the Scharnhorst, and he could be coming around either side of this island, which is why I'm stopping here, because I I don't want to come around this island and get smacked in the face, or smacked in the broadside, from the other side of this island. And unfortunately for me, yeah, he did come away around the way that I thought he would, but I couldn't really count on that, which sucks, because I would have really liked to have gone around the other side of this island, taken out the Pensacola, and then dealt with this guy. But now I'm in a bow-on situation where I have no choice but to continue doing what I'm doing, and I only get one shell that actually hits out of all three of those, which really sucked. And it looks like the enemy carrier is taking care of my teammates that are behind me, unfortunately for me. And I probably should be firing AP at the angle that this guy was at, but I figured he was going to angle back in, and yeah, there he goes. This was such a disappointing turn of events right here. I should definitely be going forward right now. I was too busy screwing with my damage control, and I figured the torpedoes would be coming, and here they are. Man, this was just really disappointing right here. This Koenig over behind me essentially almost did nothing but get hit by a torpedo and get sunk by the carrier this game, which really sucks. It's hard to win a game when one of your battleships doesn't really do a whole lot. And I actually land an HE shell on that freaking Pensacola, but it doesn't do any damage. That was really disappointing, let me tell you. So both of the ships that were with me over here, they both get taken out by the Scharnhorst. The carrier basically dropped some bombs on him, you know, did this, did that, and then killed him. Luckily for me, I basically overturned here. I could have totally avoided that torpedo, but I forgot how slow the turn radius is, and then an HE shot to the side will finish that guy off. And I unfortunately lost a lot of health to that, but luckily my repair is going to be back up here in a second. And I have my defensive fire, which is going to basically save my butt from these dive bombers. And this right here is a classic example of why I'm not a huge fan of carriers in this game. I might have been able to somehow win this game, but with the carrier harassing me, there's just no way for me to do it. And I'm just not a huge fan of the Japanese American carrier sort of fight, because most American carriers are going to go strike package and they can literally offer nobody protection from the Japanese carriers because they have no fighters. And you really need that, and we actually get a Citadel on that guy and also get the Confederate medal, which isn't too bad. But this is basically going to be the end of the game for me right here, because I have no way of basically dealing with these torpedo bombers. So essentially what I did was just open up my side to this guy and say, here you go, buddy, torpedo me. I was thinking that Congo was probably going to take me out there, but didn't quite happen. But it doesn't matter anyways, one torpedo hit's going to be enough. And that was the game. But unfortunately for us, we had an AF carrier for 7 minutes of the game, and when he finally did get to his keyboard, he didn't really do a whole lot. That's one of the downsides of the American carriers. They don't really have the planes required to be effective carriers when they're going up against a Japanese counterpart. They basically just need more torpedo bombers and at least one fighter squadron. Not having one fighter squadron just seems crazy to me, because you basically can't defend your aircraft or yourself or others from the enemy carrier. which I'm not a huge fan of. But yeah, we're going to end up losing this game. I was hoping this carrier was going to ram that Congo, but he decided to turn around and just give him a kill. I'd have gone for a ram, gone out in style. That's just me, though. So yeah, this game essentially came down to the enemy having a better carrier and a poor tactical decision on my part. I probably could have sailed through that gap in sea and been fine and been in a better position to take that Scharnhorst out before he killed the rest of my friends. But that unfortunately didn't happen, and yeah, we end up losing this game. I probably could have saved that emerald and we would have had a lot more ships, but I made a poor decision. People played the situations that they were in poorly, and we end up losing the game because of it. And the enemy carrier played it pretty well too, unfortunately. Yeah, this is going to be the end of a fairly good game for me. I'm pretty sad about it. The Graf Spee is probably one of my favorite cruisers, and it's just sad that I had to lose this game like this. But once again, you can't really win them all. Alright, so moving on to the results. We actually got the Confederate medal. Did 106,000 points of damage, which is pretty nice. And ended up getting 440,000 credits, even at a loss. So that's still pretty nice. It's one of the things that I like about the Graf Spee. It's a pretty good money-making ship. And I find the gameplay really unique and enjoyable for it. End up on the top of our team there, but, you know, with the loss, we ended up with almost 1,300 points of base experience. And in a loss, that's not too bad. But ended up getting bombed out by the carrier there. And who knows, maybe I could have won that game if I had made some better decisions. But tactically, when I go back and look at this game, I'm like, yeah, I made some terrible decisions. So it didn't help my team any. But it'd be nice if Wargaming would change the way that AA and carriers interact in this game. I feel like I just wish I had more manual control over my AA, but I don't. But it is what it is. Anyways, if you like this game, please hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more. Alright, so moving on to the results.